So I'm recording. All right, so we are live recording on this day. This is Saturday, June 1st, 2019, and we are delighted to be gathering today and featuring our special guest and our fearless leader, upline, and trader extraordinaire who has been teaching me and many others how to trade using the tools from iMarkets Live. So we are going to be learning about a strategy called MACG5X, and otherwise known as the purple MACD, and some other things like Giloh Morgan strategy and other things, names that we've given it based on the template that we use in our MetaTrader 4. But anyway, Giloh brings to us many years of business experience, not just in a corporate arena, but it has been running a successful Amazon business. And he has been running that while launching his business with iMarkets Live, I believe, since last year sometime. He'll give you some background before he jumps in. But anyway, with that, I'd like to bring on our leader, Giloh Morgan. Take it away.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad to be here on this Saturday afternoon with you guys to share what I am continually learning. Oh my goodness, what a nice Saturday! It's a continuous learning process that we are on how to trade. This existed before we even got involved. But now all of a sudden we're experts and we want to just make $1 million just like that. And we're impatient if we don't. But just last month, this wasn't even on our radar. So we have to put a lot of this into perspective. We have to slow down so that we can learn the skill. And I think many of us who are on this broadcast would have heard the phrase, if you could learn a skill where you could multiply money, if you could learn a skill where you could make money like a bank on your phone, would you want to know about it? That's the question I ask. And most people I ask that to say yes. And so that's what we're going to look at. Now, the skill part of it is where we have to focus on. And with iMarkets Live, we have many tools that we're given, many of the cheat codes. I don't know what terminology that you guys know it as. Cheat codes, copy and paste is something that we say. The signals, many of the apps that we look at, and let's just name them, harmonic scanner. If I get a call on the harmonic scanner, I put it against this strategy. If I get a call on the web analyzer, I put it against this strategy. If I get a call against on Gold Cup, I put it against this strategy. If I get a call from Swipe Trades, I put it against it. You have to verify what you're taking. You have to verify what you're looking at. And I just want to go to this one right here, I think is you have to verify what you're looking at. And we'll look at this one. When you're looking at the market, I like to start off here. I actually start off here, and I made some of the ones to show you guys. I start off here. It's a quick way for me to scan down the market and see. The reason I have this is because our strategy focuses on the MACD. If you don't know what the MACD is, it's this bottom half of the screen. It's a histogram with a purple line that leaves it, an average. That's a moving average that we see on the purple line. Okay, so, but that histogram right here is the key. And when you see it heavily loaded on the bottom, it's oversold. If it's heavily loaded on the top, it's overbought. And we want to be able to take advantage of that condition of the histogram. Okay, so when we say something is oversold, that means people are going to start buying. We have so much in inventory, people are going to start buying. That's how you got to look at it. Okay, so this is where I start. Now, I just want to go down the currency pairs is what I'll do, and just see if there's anything ready to go right now. And what we're looking for is we're looking for that histogram to be, I'll use my annotate, in this condition right here. Right here. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for it to have just left the purple so we can get into a trade. Now, that's not the only thing we look at. We have to put it against our whole strategy, which looks like this. Let me scare everybody. Ready to scare everybody, Remy? Yes, let's scare everybody real quick. Here's what we put it against to see if we want to get into the strategy. Wow. That's what we put it against right there. But let's for the ease and the sake of people getting into this, let's look at it in this way. All right, let's start somewhere, and then we'll slowly build. There is a checklist that we have that we go across, that we go against, that we verify it with. Starting with the MACD. Everyone should know what the MACD is. The MACD, again, is that histogram right there. Some people call it the fence. Some people call it the wave. And some people just get, what is it? I don't get it. Well, we're going to do our best to give you as many interpretations of it or many examples of it as we can so that you can understand what it is. It's right here. That's what we look for when it separates. And the result that we have is above it, this movement of the market. That's what we want to catch. Now, the reason that we call it 5X is because we want to take a 5 pip trade 5 times. So we're not worried that it goes all the way up. Yes, we want to catch that, and that's the goal where we go. But I'm only looking at the 1 hour also. That's where I start. The new guys, when I first started, I was showing people on the minute. I could make like $20 on the minute candle, $20 on the minute candle, because I knew a strategy on how to look at it on the minute, which is impressive. But Christopher Terry said something when he did our meeting in Vegas. He said, do you want to make $30 or do you want to make $3,000? What do you want to do? Make $30, make $3,000. I want to make $3,000. I'm not interested in making $30. And all of us on this broadcast, all of us watching should understand that that's where the money is, in the bigger time frames. And so as I am a year and some change into this journey, I want to give you guys the quickest way to get to how I'm trading, the quickest way to get to trading successfully. Every day, you're going to find a trade. However, every day you don't have to trade. I didn't understand that till recently. You don't have to always find something to get into. The web analyzer will throw out trades, but guess what? We look for the right setup. And I want everybody to write that down. That should be a meme that we have. We look for the right setup, and I trade what I see, not how I feel. Those two things, those of you who traded with me the other night, I kept saying that because there were trades I wanted to get into, and I had to be like, no, I trade what I see, not how I feel. I trade what I see, not how I feel. And then I was saying I wait for the right setup. If it's the right setup, we get into it. And I'll tell you guys something funny about what I did after the broadcast ended. I'll tell you now, I was feeling so good about a couple of those trades that I wanted to jump into that when the broadcast went off, I jumped into them anyways. And guess what? My feeling was wrong. I lost money on those trades that I was feeling. So I think Lorraine was on there and Melissa was on there. I was like, man, I should get into these. And I was wrong. So, okay, so we look for this move right here. Now, what it's going to look like, just move this around. When we see it, we have to get into current time. It's going to look like something like that. That's what we're going to see if you really want to get. So to the right of my screen is current time frame. And let me just, as it appears, it's going to go hour by hour. So in the next hour, I see this. Bam. In the next hour, I see this. Bam. In the next hour, I see this. Bam. At some point, I got to know that, man, this is a trade I want to get into. This is the position that we start to understand that this is a trade we want to get into. It is right here at that candle right there. That's where we can realize that that's a trade we want to get into based on the other things. Okay, so now I'm going to just snap it to the center. Hopefully everybody knows how to do that. I'm going to add to it, what else I want to see is the stochastic. The stochastic is another oscillator that we have that you have to get used to seeing all of these at one time. And so what we've done is I've added them one at a time so that we can add them to our strategy. So what you should see is basically I have color coded them on our strategy so that it matches the candles. If the green is on top, that means it's a buy. If the red is on top, it means that it's a sell. And we're going to look at a sell and a buy. Actually, right now we're looking at, everybody should be, it's a buy, because that's what happened 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. For the last 9 hours, this has been in a buy mode. And at some point, we would have wanted to have jumped into this strategy right here. Okay, so I'm going to erase this one because we won't necessarily see this. We'll see it like that. And from that, you can see that the green line is on top. All right, so that is the second thing we look for. First thing we look for is that the MACD has separated. That purple line has left the histogram. The purple line has left the fence. The purple line has left the wave. That purple line. Next thing we look for on top of that is that the stochastic oscillator, we're going long. We're going for a buy. We're going long. And that's what we want to look for. Okay, so that should, sometimes on the web analyzer, you will have just the stochastic to look at. What's beautiful is when you look at this, when you look at any trading strategy, you can understand if this is a trade you want to get into based on some of the indicators that you're going to see. All right. So there we have. So really quickly, I mean, we can add to this. Literally, we can add to this the RSI on top of it. Now, I first got into the trade because the RSI is moving kind of currently. You see it pointing down right now. It's pointing down because that is a red candle. And on the red candles or on the opposite move, it's going to move with that move. So let me go to another currency pair just to see if we can. You're going to find them everywhere. So I want to see consistency with. This was it started here, but it went long. Is this a trade we would have gotten into? No, not necessarily. How about this one right here? Oh my. Yes. Look at that. So this trade we would have wanted to have got into. I'll draw a line here. Somewhere in this mode right here. Yeah. That's where we would have wanted to have gotten into the trade. And here you should see all of the things. This is a short or a sell. We see the purple line is left. We see the red on top. We see the RSI pointing down. Those are three critical things, and we're going to keep building on this as we go forward. So I'm going to go back to the other pair. We didn't even have to go long to look for pairs to trade because both of these are giving us what we want to look for. Okay, so I'm going to draw a line here. Currently, this is kind of where we would have wanted to have gotten in. Yes, good. And the temptation could be to jump in earlier. We'll talk about that. Objects list. So I want to just look at both of those spots. So we'll just delete. So everybody should be clear on what we look at. Those are two currency pairs. I didn't even have to scroll down the whole our whole playing field. And just know we would have got that same. Even if I got a call off of the harmonic scanner, I would have put it against this. Even if I got a call off of the web analyzer, I still would have put it against this to see, because you want to be comfortable getting into a trade. And IML is not they don't trade for us. They give us the best probability. And what I've learned to do is take that probability even further, because that's what you want to do. I've learned everything I've learned on IML. iMarkets Live is the #1 platform. Better Business Bureau just gave it its endorsements. It is, right at 90,000 customers as of us watching this today, May 22nd. Okay, so let's add to this now. That's everything that we need to look for on the bottom half of the screen. Now we're going to actually look at the candles, right? So once I see that, now you want to know how fast I'm going through this. When it's happening, it's the snap of a finger. That's how fast you'll learn to make a decision to see, oh man, here's one. Oh, I see the right setup. That's the terminology that we're using, and that's the terminology that was, oh, wow, I found one. Okay, I got it. We got a trade right here. You hear that. Why are we basing it on that? Because of what you're looking at right now. All right, so next, let's add to this right here. Yes, the SARS. And is that the next on our list? Just want to make sure it is. Ramey sent me this nice list, which actually is, yep, that's exactly how I look at it. So I see the SAR candles, and the SAR candles start on this one right here. SAR meaning point of stop and reversal, PSAR, point of stop and reversal. You want to see two dots in a row. One dot is fine, but what's better than one is two. And there are actually some people who have three dots. When you see three dots, it's really, oh God, let's go. Because the movement, the momentum of the price, the point of stop and reversal has happened and that it's pushing up. So at this point right here, we see, I go down the checklist. I see the purple MAC has separated. I see green on top. I see the RSI pointing up. It's all these lines. And I wish it were more sophisticated than these. The lines are crossing, the lines have left. And then I see two dots. That lets me know that this is a trade I can feel good getting into right here. And at the point, just put a line just to see where this one is letting me know that it's in. It's again on that candle that I was talking about. I didn't set this up. I didn't look to see if I had something to teach, but this is literally what I look at. At this point, I would have gotten into the trade. The more professional you get, you might have gotten in a couple of candles earlier. Remember, this is an hour. Now, what we have not done, I'm going to go down and we're going to look at it on other time frames. Right now, we're just looking at the 1 hour because that's where it all starts for me. Literally, I want to do this on the 4 hour, and we're going to actually look and see, delete, if there's convergence. And we'll talk about what that means in 1 second. Okay, so I see the two dots. Two dots let me know that the price has stopped going down and it has reversed, and now it's going up. Point of stop and reversal. Next thing I want to look at, and let's just look, let's look at the other one we're looking at, which is right here, to see if we have the same kind of thing. And at this point right here is the point of stop and reversal. I'll put a dot right up here. That's where it is. Two dots. Point of stop and reversal is right there. And we could have rode this. I actually rode this all the way to right in here on Friday. It got me out here. Anyway, in the middle of the night, actually, it was something like that. And so that would have been 2 o'clock, 2, 1, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Yeah, I went to sleep at 4 o'clock, set at this candle. I set my stop loss here, and this is where it took me out on this candle. I went to sleep right around 4 o'clock, and that's about the 5 o'clock candle right there. So this is what we're looking for. Again, let me erase this line right here. I have the purple line has separated. The red line's on top. I see that the RSI is pointing down, same direction. Everything's going the same direction, and I have two dots. Now on this one, I'm going to go ahead with the next part of the strategy, which is Bollinger Bands. Bollinger Bands. Oh, where are we? You see it right there, anybody?
I pull it up when on the red green.
Yeah, I just want. Yes, you're absolutely right.
We have one that's separate. EB maybe up on top.
Yes. This is the line I didn't want in.
Oh, I see.
That one right there. Okay, so there it is right there. So now, what Bollinger Bands are, guys, some of us on here played bows and arrows when we were kids. And when you put that arrow in and you pull back on that bow, that's a Bollinger Band. So if you have a candle and it's loaded inside of Bollinger Bands, it's going to shoot which direction? Whatever direction that it's pointed. And now we have it's pointed down. It's a sell. RSI is pointed down. Candles are in the Bollinger Band and it's shooting down. Shooting down. Now what's happening, as you'll see, is if it reverses, it's going to shoot the other direction, which is what we'll see. Okay, one other thing that we want to look at is, are we far away from the moving average 50, the 50-day moving average? That's another thing to check. Now understand that all of this I'm checking within like 5 seconds of looking at it. I'm like, oh, wow, we got one. Let's go. So you will get that fast as time goes by. Here's where we want to see that it's in the Bollinger Band. So really quickly, checklist. The purple line leaves. Red line is on top of the stochastic. The MACD is pointing, the RSI is pointing down. I have two dots right here. The candles were in the Bollinger Band. It means it's going to shoot down. That's it. Everything's letting me know that's shooting down. Okay, now I'm going to go to the other one because I don't think, just from looking at it, I don't think that the candles are in the Bollinger Band on this, on the other one we were looking at. And I am, I'm wrong. It is in the Bollinger Band. Awesome. So there we go. Again, Bollinger Band, meaning these are arrows that are loaded into our bow and arrow that we're playing. Candles are deep. This is really good. Deep into the Bollinger Band, which means that it's going to shoot. That's what's happening. Is this, Rami, just asking you, is this like as clear as can be? Any way you want me to?
This is, yes, very clear and exciting.
Okay. Because literally what happens is people, after even going this simple, still don't get it. So I just want to be able to, for us to get it. So now, I look at it, I look at this in this view.
And again, we're at H1, correct?
H1, yeah.
Yes.
H1. I look at it here first.
Oh.
Then I quickly pop it to here after I make my validation right here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh yeah, cool. Good. I know what I'm looking at. Because I call it, let's get rid of some of the noise.
Right. And just to clarify for all of us on the call, when we loaded these templates into your computers, remember how we removed all the noise and then we saved a new template under the title Learning? That's how you're going to find this view that you're looking at right now on Giloh's screen. It's under the title Learning.
Awesome. That's great. So now let's just look at convergence. And the best way that I like to look at convergence is when you have three rivers. This right here is the big river, H1. The M30, I'm going to click on it, is a smaller river. The M15 is the smallest river that I look at. Very rarely do I look at the M5. But let's click on here and we should see, let me mark it. Now understand I'm doing this fast when it goes right here. Let me mark this and just see if we have the same type of movement, the same type of structure happening. Let's find it. Ooh, where are we? We should. Oh my God, look at that. We have the same MACD right there. Now, you're going to have the movement of other candles, which we have this big red candle that we don't have here on the H1. But you got to understand that this candle did a lot. And we got to be able to ride a candle for wherever it's going to go. And just trust that we can feel good on the strategy. I am not to the point yet where I turn off my computer and I'm not looking at how the candles are moving. There are guys who'll put in a trade on Monday, won't open it up till Wednesday, won't open it up till Friday because they have just so much confidence in the way the market's moving. Okay, let's look at the M30. There we are. There's the M30. We have the same thing. Now let's put all the tools back. We should have the same type of movement here. Yes, it's separated. Green lines on top. RSI is pointing up. Candles in the Bollinger Band. We have point of stop and reversal. The PSAR is there. We're headed up for a buy. Guys.
Wow.
All right. So now let's go back to there. Let's go just for kicks. Let's go mark this again. Let's go look at the 15, the smallest river. And what do we have? Well, what do you know? Look at that.
Nice.
We have the same movement.
Consistency.
When the rivers come together, they converge, right? Hey guys, let's converge at this point tomorrow. That means everybody's on the same page. Converge. Everybody's on the same page. Everybody's doing the same thing. That's what we want to see in the market. When you see this, you know that you can get in this trade. You can feel good about getting in this trade. And know that you will win pips. Again, let's put all the tools back on. This one line I don't want. There's a reason I have this one. There we are. What do we see? Exactly what we want.
Mm-hmm.
We have the same movement. Now, what's so awesome to do which many of us will get a chance to do, is to see this unfold before your eyes. That takes time to do. That takes trading. You know, wise traders that I surround myself with, Giloh, it's not the first time you trade. It's not the second time you trade. It's not the 100th time. It's the 1,000th time that you've done this. That's where it starts to make sense. All right. Again, let me go back down so that we can see the convergence. Oh, I'll do it like this. Here's convergence here. Here's convergence here. Here's convergence here. I'm just going up the big river. Let's go to an even bigger river, H4. And I bet you we're going to see similar crosswinds. Yes. Now it's just starting. All right. One other thing that I look at, and you have to be very careful with, is that are we going too much against the trend? Has the trend been broken? And it's breaking the trend. Right now, the trend is down, and we've bought against it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. The general trend is a downward trend.
Against the side of this move. Right. So what we would have loved to have done is caught, and we can find versions of this. We can find versions of a downtrend. So right there, this gives us the perfect trade. Now, if you use bounce back, which is an MACG5X product, this right here would have been a textbook one where we would have drawn. They would have drawn a line here from here, crossing here, and would have gotten to that trade right there at this point right here. Guess what? If we match it up against this strategy right here, we would have done the same thing. We would have gotten a little earlier.
Yes.
You want to have 2 points. Here's a trend line. Trend line has to touch 2 times. 1 time there, 2 times there, and then you're in. Right? If I were to go further back, we could have used this one. Done the same thing. So let's just extend it. I don't know if anyone has ever drawn a trend line. First time I do trend lines, I probably chuckled, and it's horrible. I didn't really understand what I was looking at. Here, trend line, trend line, trend line. It broke the trend line, and we can get into this trade. Now, let's put that against what we know and what we've learned today. If I was taking this trade and it was called in the bounce back, would I have gotten in? Yes. See, our MACG5X tools give us beautiful, beautiful trades to get into. All right, let's go back farther. Let's go back to this one. We might have gotten to this trade earlier. No. So here's a trend line here. It's touching one. It's touching there. This still is a picture perfect trade for us to have gotten into. All right. So I just want to show that this is based on bounce back. It's in iMarkets Live. Same thing. So I have another way of looking at H1, M30, M15. Let me just go back to what we're maybe looking at here. I call it 1,000 people, 300 people, 150 people. If you have H1, if you have 150 people running in the same direction, how hard is it for them to turn around? Very hard, right? Mm-hmm. If you have, and you'll see this, I want you guys to kind of understand this. If you have, and I'm going to go to the M30, if you have 300 people running in one direction, how hard is it for them to turn around? A little easier. That's what happened right here. That's what happened right here. The 300 were able to turn around. Guess what? 1,000 people running, it's harder for them to turn around. That's why we look at the bigger time frames. So I'm trying to find analogies, examples for us to now. So we've got 150. We've got 300 people running the same direction. Guess what? It's hard for them to turn around. This gives us the momentum that we want to see. Yes, they were able to turn around a little bit here. Turn back around, guys. Go. Oh no, turn around a little bit. We go turn around. See what I mean? Now let's look at 150 people running. It's easier for them to turn around. Oh, we're running 150 people running. Up, we're going the other way. Up, we're going the other way. Up, we're going the other way. 150 people are easier to turn around. Right? 300 people, it's harder for them to turn around. 1,000 people, it's harder for them to turn around. this is the point that we're studying right here. And so hopefully that's another example, another way of looking at this. When you find a long trend, which we'll look for with H4, it's 4,000 people. How hard is it for 4,000 people to turn around? It's even harder. Day one is 10,000 people, and that's how I teach. 10,000 people running in this direction. How hard is it for them to turn around? It's impossible almost for 10,000 people to turn and go the other way without getting somebody getting trampled. So now this position right here, we would have not necessarily traded this, but this is a great one. Day after day, you're just digging into pips. And it takes time for us to get into that mindset, all right? I want to just point out, some of us are on Kathy Kirkland's ECC 11. Anybody know what ECC 11 stands for? ECC 11 stands for I'm a believer. So and so is Dr. Kathy Kirkland. Dr. Kathy Kirkland, ECC 11 stands for Ecclesiastes 11 and 1. And what that says is put your money in foreign trade and you'll see a return soon enough. That's basically what it says. So that's why she calls it ECC 11. Here's what I want to do. I want to put the ECC 11 against this, and let's just see, based on the MACD right here, is this a trade we would have wanted to have gotten into? Right there, ECC 11. Oh my, this is a trade I would have wanted to have gotten into based on the MACD. Let's go to Andre. Andre Campbell, I love Andre Campbell. Andre Campbell, another strategy here. Andre Campbell would say to get into this trade when the white lines are going up right here. Is this a trade we would have wanted to have gotten to based on Andre Campbell?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
So it doesn't matter whose strategy. Man, I'm going to jump on this strategy now. Well, go for it. I'm not. I'm going to stay right here. Oh, and this is the hottest new one. I'm going to jump on that one, and he knows what he's doing. Good. I'm good right here because I can put this against anybody's strategy. Because all we're looking at and all they're looking at, guys, also are indicators. And I didn't understand when Andre Campbell told me, Giloh, there's no new indicator. There's really not. There's no new indicator. There's no, okay, somebody has chose to look at the market this way. And now all of a sudden they're the hottest thing on the market. Great. I'm happy because that means that people are being successful and they're feeding. Look, I want us to get fed. I don't care whose strategy you're looking at, but just understand that if we had mastered the ECC 11 first and somebody showed us this, we should be able to see, oh, I understand why you got in that trade. Yes, it matches up with what we're trading also. There's no new. The market does three things. This is the first thing I tell people when I'm showing a new person or even in the presented. Market does three things. Goes up, goes down, goes sideways. That's it. There's down, there's up, there's sideways. That's all the market can do. We have to learn as traders to understand how to manipulate, and we don't manipulate it, how to find the right setup. I wait for the right setup. I don't trade what I feel, I trade how I see. All right. I just want to go to this one now, and let's look at where we would have gotten into this trade. Right in this area right here. This was a great run that I got into Thursday, Friday. Thursday and Friday is when I got into this. And again, it took me out right in here when I went to bed at like 5 in the morning. And I wish I hadn't. I wish I'd have watched it, set a higher stop loss, because then I would have gotten down to here. So there probably is not enough gas in here to trade. It's probably turning around at this point. So let me put everything in that we saw today and understand, is this a place we would have wanted to have traded? Yes, right? So now I'm going to mark the spot that we like. This will be right in here. All right. Now let's, oh, actually I'll mark it. I'll mark it on this one. And then we're going to go to see if there's convergence in lower parts of the river. We're on the H1. Let's look at the smaller river. That's what we should see. Bam, right there. Same kind of thing. Now, you might say, well, it's not as big as the other one. Yeah, no kidding. Great, but get used to seeing this, because you want to be able to, not every single one's going to have the perfect textbook, like the problems we used to get in math in high school. the problems that we would do would be fine. Then we do the assignment and we find all these other problems. I'm like, man, I don't get it because it's different, just a little different. All right. So now let's look at the 15. Now the 15 is going to be even flatter, smaller, not as thick. I don't know, however you want to choose to. I understand these are 15-minute candles, so we're looking for, yes, right here. And this is the spot. So we can actually left and understand that this is kind of where the 15 minutes letting us know. Again, it's convergence. All the candles are moving the same. All the time frames are moving in the same direction. The trend is the sell. So that's that. Now, I want to just talk about how this is moving here. All of us have, when we were younger, probably flapped a sheet, did a sheet when we were folding them. And that's what you're looking at here. You cannot get caught in every time a candle's going up that, oh my God, I got to get out. Because here we would have wanted to have gotten out, but guess what? It continued on down. And then here it went sideways a little bit, but still headed down, and here went up. So if you guys were to take a sheet or a towel and to flip the towel, you would see it ripple just like this. It would ripple. We can't control what the ripple is going to do, but we know that it's headed to here. Following that?
Yes.
Take a sheet and we flap the sheet out. We shake the sheet, starts here. The sheet's going, boom, it ripples. It's going. Remember Christopher Terry talks about tide, the wave, the ripple. Tide, wave, ripple. I'm giving you other examples to look at the same. We're headed to the end of the sheet. We're headed to the shore. Do you want to get caught in a little ripple? You want to get caught on a wave? You want to catch the tide all the way in? You want to catch the tide all the way in, guys. We want to catch the tide all the way in. That's what you have here. Back on the H1. That's what you have here. The tide's going in. Back it down, and there, it's still headed in. Back it down again, and it's still headed in.
Nice.
Yes, Remy.
Oh, can you go back to that other view?
Here's H1.
Can you take questions now, or shall I save them?
Sure. Now,
Okay.
I understand, right? I'm looking at this, and here's where I go to verify this.
Yes.
So you have to get used to understanding that here's what this is a yes for us to have gotten in this trade. I just happen to have simplified it so that I can see it here.
Yes.
I'm not looking at anything different. If I put the ECC 11 on it, I'll put the ECC 11 on this one. ECC 11 on this one gives us the same. This is where the cross is. This is where she said to have gotten it. At this cross, I mean, guys, this is the cross for the ECC 11. What's right here? We're leaving the MACD.
Right.
It's the same. It's nothing different.
Thank you. Yeah.
We can get caught up in whoever's doing the next thing. That's great. Go ahead, Remy. Yeah.
Okay, good. This is perfect because I just want to reiterate to everyone watching that your first step is to really master this MACG5X. That's what we're referring to this strategy from this point forward, okay?
And what I circled is where you want to find it. What I circled is what you want to see.
Yes, and that is one of the first exercises that we've had you do is to look at the MACD, draw a circle where the signal line separates from the histogram, or otherwise known as the fence, and put an S on it or a B and share it with someone who's working with you, so you can verify that you do indeed know what a sell looks like and a buy. That's one of the first things Giloh had me do when I started working with him. And so that would be a first step. But Giloh, my question was, when you look at this screen right here, and the signal line is separating, and then it goes deep into the fence as it falls right there, exactly. That is still a good indicator, right? I know the separation is where it draws our attention to. Can you speak to that when it's deep in the fence?
Okay, so now that's why I say, when I said like the more professional you get, you can start trading in those other areas. Yes. Once you see it deep in the fence, you can get in. Once you see it, like we don't know how deep it's going to go. Like right here, it should be we're into a trade right here. But however, if you get in right here, you're still fine. There should still be enough momentum for you to get 5 pips 5 times. You got to remember that's how we're looking at this. The MACG5X is taking a trade 5 times. I just want to be like Javen with riding with the sunroof right there, man. I saw a beautiful set of trees above you, bro. That was nice. Palm trees, not that. That's awesome. But literally, you can get into this trade still right in this area. Any lower, I would not suggest, because once it reverses, you'll be in a reversal. And let's look at here. Let's look at this section here. Let me just here. If you'd have had guts, I'll say, to have gotten into it. Oops. If you'd have had guts to have gotten into it, oh man, it's headed down, and you get into a trade. At what point would you have been in trouble trading this area right here? Immediately, because guess what it did? Sideways.
Oh, I see.
You see what I mean? So you have to be very, very careful.
Okay.
I'd say once it first enters this, you're okay. But if it's deep into it, don't do it. And here's a reason why not to right here.
Very helpful. It begins to consolidate.
It's right here. You don't want to get into it, because that's what happens. Bam, you're caught. You would have been mad. That's what would have happened if you'd have gotten right here.
I see.
And there's nothing about this that tells us to get in. Also, you see, I mean, I'm evaluating this. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I had to have so much self-control in the night trading to have not gotten into a couple of those trades. Now, one of them I did after we got off the call, and guess what? I lost money. Man, I kept looking at the trade like, wow, yeah, I should just get in. Oh man, yeah, I should. Okay, but in front of all my people, obviously, I'm playing good teacher. Like, nope, don't get in the trade. I trade what I see, not how I feel. I wait for the right setup. And then as soon as the lights were off, I said, yeah, let me just get it quick. And guess what? It doesn't work, you guys.
Yes.
I've been trading for longer than everybody on this call. It doesn't work. Only trade what you see, not how you feel. Okay. You have to do that.
So while we're on this topic of placing those trades, can you repeat the 5 trades 5 times? Because not everyone on the call has been exposed to this approach. Instead of going for 25 pips in one trade, going for 5 trades with 5 pips.
All right. Yeah. So I'll do it kind of like this. Move this around. And let's go back to, I don't know how you guys look at it. Maybe it's this view. All of it plays a little part. Let's just say this right here. I want to be able to get as many of the pips as possible. So let me just mark. Here's where I could have got in. From this point to this point, I'm just going to mark it as probably 5 pips. Let's do it just probably, because I've seen this so much. This is a little more than 5 pips. Let's see. Oh, this is 10 pips. Great. So here's 5 pips right here. 5 pips. That's 5 pips right there. If I took that 5 times, that's the same as me getting to right here. Right there.
Wow.
That's the same amount of real estate. So once we do this, right? I wish I had a different, oh, that's okay. I'll just do it. We should know this right about here. It's 5 pips. Again, that's 7 pips right there. That's 5 pips, guys. Between the first 2 yellow lines is 5 pips. Between the first yellow line and the second, the third rather of the 3 lines is 25. So if I took 5, like sell, 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 sell. That's what I do. I do sell, 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 sell. I would have had 25 pips right here.
Exactly.
Based on your lot size, you would have had money. So between here and here, you could have did the same thing. However, that's the same amount of real estate.
Mm-hmm. And you can always re-enter.
Yeah, you can re-enter.
Sell again 5 times.
Yes.
But
so that's what I'm basically doing,
like
is
going
selling.
For a shorter number of pips, you're really reducing your risk, because it happens faster than waiting for 25 pips.
Right. Because what would have happened is you would have had to go through this right here, which would have, most people would have oh my God, it's going the wrong way. Instead of trusting everything.
Yes.
You have to trust it, guys.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next question, Giloh.
Mm-hmm.
On the moving average, I think for some of them, they may have more than one moving average on
Yes.
your screen. Can you clarify which moving average we're looking at?
Mainly, you want to look at the 50-day moving average, but the others also are part of our checklist, honestly. Delete this one.
The 44 and the 8, I think, is what.
I'll pull it up here because it is on this one right here. It's where it crosses right there. This is a 10-day and the 20-day. See the 20 moving average 20. This one's the moving average 10. Here's the moving average 50. So again, another part of our checklist, and this is last to see, is that it's crossed right there.
Okay. So I think we might need to clean up some of their indicators, because I think most of us have 44 and 8.
Which is fine. I'll show you 44 and 8.
Okay.
Here's 44 and 8. That is very. I have 50 and 5, which is still fine. There's the 44 and. This right here is the same thing. That's not a big deal at all. This is the same thing.
Okay.
Here I'm looking at the this is the moving day 4, the 4 and the 50. So you're looking at the 44 and the 8. That's really small in the scope of anything. You don't need to change all of that. Okay. Here we have on Dr. Kathy Kirkland. Let me just go to it. On the ECC 11, what are those averages? I don't know. Hold on a second. They are. The MACD is the key.
Okay.
On hers, it is. This one is. Oh, Ikimoku. So whatever these ones are the same.
Okay.
Like it's such a small thing in the scheme of what we're doing. Again,
right. For everyone on the call, you have the correct moving averages on your screen. Giloh's turquoise line is the moving, the 50, and you have the 44, and that's close enough.
Yeah, we would. The banks use the 50, so that might be something that we would want to change to the 50. But
okay, so maybe change out the 44 to the 50.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can help them do that.
But I don't know. Look, if people are getting used to looking at the 44, you're fine.
Okay.
There's no wrong in that sense.
Right, because the reason we're using that 50 in, say, reference to the Bollinger Bands, those candlesticks are going to be moving in the direction or being shot towards the moving.
The 50.
The average.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
As you see in this example, and I'm about to.
Yeah. God bless you.
Right on my computer. No, I'm kidding.
The next question, Giloh, oftentimes you said to me at the beginning is that you could have two people look at the same chart using the same strategy, but we see things differently.
Yep.
And I think there's a value in collaborating with others. So if you have the opportunity to trade with a buddy, to say, hey, I think I see a sell, and go through this confirmation checklist as we've just been taught, and talk through it, because sometimes I've experienced where I think I see something and then I share it with someone else and they say, I don't quite see it that way. Any comments on that?
Yes, and I'm doing my best to trade at 2 a.m. We were able to, first of all, things happen in your life. And I had a very consistent 4 a.m. trading. And then obviously my mom was even sicker and she passed away. And so I've committed back to 2 a.m. trading, which we were doing last week. And my condolences to my excuses even. We have to win, you guys. Regardless to what's going on in your life, win. And we have found the way. You got to show me something where you're going to make the kind of money that you can make in the short amount of time doing what we're doing. So condolences all around, but even to my excuses, my mom would want me to win. Like, oh my God, I would see her sitting there watching me like, wow, son, oh good. You know, you found it, do it, win. So even in my mind, it's all mental. You got to program yourself, man. You can win. We can do it. We've got it. We're all underdogs, man. Looking at the people who have the lifestyle, we're all underdogs in that case. But guess what? I root for the underdog. I know we can pull out of it,
Mm-hmm.
and we can win with this. So,
And I think that piece of just working with others, if you're not feeling confident, it is a beautiful thing. And we have the privilege of doing that. So we thank you for making
2
it
a.m.
available
Pacific
to us.
Standard Time.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Which is beautiful for the Hawaiians. Oh my God, you guys, it's like 11 o'clock.
Perfect.
The night has just started for you guys, man.
Now, those of you who are listening in, who have been through this lesson, more than once, and you're really getting it. You're ready for the next level, and the next level would be to really dive into the harmonic scanner. And I just wanted Giloh to comment about his experience with the harmonic scanner. It is one of the tools that comes with your package, and you definitely want to take a look at that. And even if you're not ready for the harmonic scanner, do go there, imlharmonicscanner.com, because there are setups, trade ideas, obviously, there that you could grab and then apply this strategy to that when you're looking for confirmation.
But what Ramey's saying is so important, because we want to find a place to trade. And the harmonic scanner is letting us know, hey guys, I've already measured the Fibonacci. I've already looked at the guide numbers. I've already seen the probability. And guess what? Here's a place to trade. So what we do is we put our strategy on that. Look, USD JPY, the harmonic scanner saying that there's a sell. Okay, guess what I'm going to go do? Going to go to my MT4, and I'm going to look at it right here and see if this is indeed what I think it is, what the harmonic scanner is letting me know it is. Same thing with the web analyzer. Same thing with bounce back. Is the bounce back telling me? I put it right against this.
Yes.
And you can go to the bank on this, you guys. You can really, 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 once you start analyzing it, you can really just put your money where your mouth is, if you will. Put your money on this. And literally start with penny. If you haven't really started this, be in demo mode. On demo mode, man, you can put $1 on it as a lot size, standard lot. Or you can put 10 cents, 10 cents. But the point is to start doing it so that you start understanding that, wow, when I switch over, everybody wants to be in real mode. You can't be in real mode from the beginning. That's why we have the demo trading. But it's important. So now I just want to go down some of the pairs just to see if there are other places where this, man, right there we have one.
Mm-hmm.
Right here.
Yes.
Could I have gotten 5 pips through this motion? Yes. Is it going to consolidate and continue down? Well, I don't know. Let me just take a look and just see what it's doing. Okay, so the it's an upward trend. Maybe it hasn't broken. Is this part of the sheet where it's going to just continue up? Because that's what this is signifying. When the MACD does that little business, let me know that it might just reverse here and continue up. So there's so many things to look at. Would I do this as a sell on Sunday afternoon when this comes in? No. Let's just look at the MACD to see if it continues down in other places. So last time I got there, it didn't have deep. Here it goes deep. So this is not a place where I would definitely necessarily get into a sell on Sunday. But it did. This was a spot where we could have traded Friday.
Oh, can you repeat that? Why would you have not gotten into this? You're talking about on Sunday.
When the market opens.
Right. When the market. So this is an exercise, by the way, you could do a Sunday morning before the market opens. You could be going through the pairs, right, like we are, and kind of sizing things up, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. You want to see, hey, what was already trading on Friday, and what is continuing going to continue down.
So tell me, with this rate on our screen now, you just said you would not get into this as a sell.
Yeah, no, I would wait to see what the market does when it opens, just to see.
Because you're seeing that
I'm looking on other time frames, and it's just letting me know that See, this
Oh,
right here is
yes,
letting
you're
me know
right.
that it's part of the sheet thing that I was talking about. When you flip
Okay.
the towel out, and the
Yep.
towel is going broom, broom,
Right.
is it going to continue down? Yeah, I don't
Okay,
know.
so this brings up one of my last questions that has come up with some of those of us on the call. It's when we are looking for consistency in views, all right? We start at H1, we go through our checklist, bang, bang, bang. Wow, this looks great. Then we go to maybe H4, we see the same thing, wonderful. Then we go to M30, super, and then, or say we go to M30 and it doesn't quite look the same. It looks like it's going actually in the opposite direction. Is that a red flag then? And we
Yep.
say, okay,
Yep.
we don't have convergence here.
Right. It was you missed your entry.
Got
You
it.
missed the time to get in.
Okay.
But
So
guess
we
what?
wait for it.
If
We
we were to
wait
go
for it.
down a pair, you're going to miss entries. There's always going to be another one coming.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
almost like if you've been in New York, subway's running, you miss that train, there's another one.
Yes.
8 minutes later. So let's just keep scrolling down. There would have been a sell there. There would have been a buy here on AUDUSD small. Let's just look at it on other time frames just to see. Oh, small too. And on the 15th, bigger. Yeah.
Okay.
So right here would have been a great place to have gotten into a buy. Again, there's convergence on all. It's a little smaller there. And I just want to, so we're at this point right here. I'll just mark it. And this is school. This is like, to make millions of dollars, you're just going to not do any work? Okay, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just see if it's doing it on the, so it's not on the 4.
Giloh, and for our beginners, how did you make that yellow line? Can you show us navigate?
Oh, I grabbed this line right here. It's probably going to be red on your screens. I just changed the properties to the red, yellow, because I wanted a different line than any other line that I was going. And to do that, you go above somewhere and right click on it. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Let's see, vertical line. Oh, it's not letting me. Sometimes if you just click, it'll just let you. Okay, so you go to objects list, then you're like edit. I want to edit this vertical line. And you'll see how I've edited it to be yellow.
Mm-hmm.
I can pick any color.
Okay.
I'll pick another color just for the heck of it. Orange. I don't pick orange because oranges are Bollinger Bands.
Right.
Here's the white line. Let's just do a white line. All right.
Wow.
Bam.
Okay. Well, Giloh, I think we covered all of the things on our list. I am going to text out an updated version of that list that I had sent out in the invitation, because Giloh did add one more, which is the trend. You're looking for general trend.
And it's okay to go against the trend, but just know that you might not get like 1,000 pips going against the trend, because the trend has led 1,000 pips. That's how the trend goes. So we're going to go against the trend for a moment. Here's a sell right here. That would have been on Monday, on Friday, right there.
Nice.
Just looking, I know this I was in as a sell. And it already reversed on me. All of my GJ pairs, Japanese yen pairs, I was in as a sell, and then it took me out right here about 5 in the morning.
Great. Well, we are a little past the top of the hour, Giloh. We appreciate your time.
Awesome.
This has been amazing, and I'm so glad we've got a recording of it. I know we have a bunch of more questions, and so I think what we'll do is, once I post this, I'd love for you all to write back or you know, and when you text Giloh or you text me or whoever you're following, it's great to post it, because then the rest of us can learn from your question. And yeah, please share, you know, as you move along. All right.
You're going to find the pairs you like to trade. You're going to find that, look, all the JPYs move the same. There's so much to this that you're going to start seeing. All the JPYs, if we were to line up, it's called basket trading. Put all the JPYs on one screen, you're going to see the same kind of motion.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a spike in GBP pairs, all of them are going to do that kind of thing. There's convergence, even if you look at that. There's convergence in those pairs, similar pairs. So we're cramming a lot into one. But the main thing, you guys, the main thing that you can take away from today is to find this figure right here. There's nothing else you need to be worried about. In demo mode, I'm going to find this 1,000 times right there. That's what I'm going to find 1,000 times. I'm going to just scroll back. I'm going to scroll back, and I'm going to find other places. I just want to do it in closing for you to find. Let's find other places where there's one coming. I already know it right there. This is a great place to trade. Scroll back. Guess what? Man, did you see that buy? No, I didn't. It has nothing to do with, we look for this right here. That's what we look for. Right. Here's one right here as a sell, as a buy right there. Let's keep going back. I'll just take one pair and just go back forever. Look at all this. We would not have gotten into this. There's the sheet at the top of the sheet. We do have a small one. So we could have gotten into this as a small one and then continued down, essentially. But there's a small one there. And you guys got to understand that you'll understand what this looks like based on you seeing this 1,000 times. So here's another one right here. It's a sell. There's a buy right there. No. Small one, but that's a yes. A great one right here as a sell. A great one as a buy. You remember we missed this one, but we got to do the sell right here as soon as it starts down. Take one pair, and just for kicks, send Rami. She'll forward it to me or whatever. Send. I went back on this pair, and I found that place so many times. There's a small one there, not necessarily textbook, but it's still a sell. That's what we look for. There's a buy here. Again, not textbook, but it's still a buy. We would not have traded this right here at all because it has nothing to do with how we look at the market. I see. There's a sell buy here. Would have been very careful. 5 pips out of this, yes. Here's a couple of them in a row. There's a sell right here. There's a buy right here. Both of those.
And Giloh, can you comment real quick on your stop loss? How many pips are you going back? How much room are you giving yourself to break?
I usually set it above the place I'm trading. So I've gone back enough, I guess. So if I'm using this as a buy, I'm setting my stop loss here.
And then in numbers, how much do you think on average are you going back?
Oh, it just depends. A lot of times when I see this much movement, I don't have a stop loss. But as a beginner, I would definitely suggest that you put the stop loss in anywhere below this pair. And then you're moving it up. As every hour, I would move it here. And then the next hour, I would have moved it here. Again, but if I'm only grabbing 5 pips, I'm fine. I don't need to keep moving my stop loss. At that point, it's called a take profit. Do
you do it as tight as if you're going for 5? You give? Is there a general rule of thumb?
You got to be under the last candle, wick of the last candle, last couple of candles. Okay. Otherwise, you stop yourself out. You have to give. You got to know we're giving probability. The market's going to say, "Oh yeah, screw you." It's going to move the way it wants to. Because remember, our little $1,000 in the market, $500 in the market is nothing. You've got a bank that just bought all the golf courses on the north side of the island. That's millions. That's $80 million. That's what's moving this. Not our little $50. Nothing. Some what GBP USD? The queen, her kids, the baby was born, and that's going to mean that there's billions of pounds that are in the market. That's what's moving this. Just so you guys understand that the green means that the Great British Pound is in stronger. The red means the USD is stronger. So we get into a lot of buy-sell terminology, but literally, in reality, this means that the Great British Pound is stronger. This red candle, for the last hour of the market, the USD was stronger. So we say buy and sell. Sometimes that's a good way when you, well, how can you sell? I remember sitting here when I was first doing this, trying to explain to someone how you could sell and make money. And I was like, well, because of the margins. And then because that's how the brokers have it set up, and you get caught in all that. And the simple answer was, and is, because the other currency is stronger. I didn't know to say that at that point. So right here, the Japanese yen is stronger, and it's been stronger for the last couple of days. But in this section of the market, the U.S. dollar was stronger.
I see.
So that's buy, U.S. dollar stronger, sell, Japanese yen is stronger. So we have to get used to understand that. That might be a little gem that nobody knew
I like
on the
that.
call today. So
and your association with real estate, when regarding the overbought, oversold, can you insert that before we close out, because that's a nugget.
That's literally how much people have in the market. So many people have bought this currency. They've bought that the U.S. dollar is stronger than the Japanese yen. So at some point, people are going to start selling it because it's too much. And now that the yen is stronger, it's going to get to the point where, wow, man, so many people have bought the yen. Now we need to start going back to the U.S. dollar. It's just a cycle, back and forth, back and forth. Thank God we get to make money off of that.
Yes, that's the beauty of the work we do. We can make money while it's up and down. Well, gosh, this was fantastic, Giloh. I just am so grateful for
your dream to get this on tape.
Yes, yes, there are so many that need to watch this. They've heard it from various people, but to hear it directly from you, Giloh, is such a gift. So we will get this out to many, and we look forward to future recordings like this. But the beauty, gang, is that once we master this strategy, you can begin. You can begin now trading on your demo account, and then you'll add the harmonic scanner. For those of you who are more advanced, dive into that harmonic scanner, and then later on we can get into the 1MA and look at other things. But let's just stay really focused on the basics and master that before we start adding in all these other bells and whistles. All right.
And put this against every strategy you hear and come across. It's going to be the same thing, as we did with the ECC 11. And there's another one. There's Dr. Spiller's that I have loaded into my. Who's a great trader, but put this against it, and it's like, oh, it's the same. So don't get caught jumping around, because you'll just be caught jumping around. You won't master anything. So
exactly. So we're now just in closing referring to this as the MACG5X, and I bet you, Giloh, we're going to be seeing you work with Stephen Hooley, huh?
He loved what I was doing and saw it and was like, wow, Giloh, let's do a web analyzer on you. And I was so scared because I was like, oh my God. So it will happen. Yes. And I will, obviously you all will know about it when we do it.
Yes, well, fantastic.
And it's nothing new, guys. It's just indicators that we've compiled together that literally lead us to the probability of us having a successful trade. So good luck to everybody. We can win, you guys.
Yes, we will.
Thanks, Remy, for your time today.
Thank you all. We'll see you on our next call. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
See you.